recording. Okay, let me just put us on live. Here we are. I think we are live now. And hi and welcome to Pleasure Conversations. My name is Eugenia Olibertsi, and I am an international pleasure and intimacy coach, co-founder of Academy of Conscious Sexuality, and founder of eugeniaoliberty.com. I have created Pleasure Conversations where I am interviewing incredible practitioners in sexuality space all over the world, so they can bring you their wisdom, their knowledge, their tools to you, so you can connect with them. In case you hear something that really resonates with you, you can get in touch, you can ask questions. So please feel free to participate in this conversation. Also, just to say, we started today a little bit later than usual due to some technical hiccups, but we are here right now, and we are absolutely excited to be here. So today I have the most incredible Amy De Baene with me, all the way from Switzerland. And she is an absolutely incredible tantrika. She is psychosexologist. So guys, please open your ears and listen carefully. She will have lots of wisdom to share. And hi, Amy. How are you today? Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Gina. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah, what a joy. Pleasure and joy. These are really values we have in common, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The most important things, the value and joy. What can go wrong? Well, sometimes can go wrong. How would I say? The technical issues can go wrong. I think we are a little bit.
Yes, exactly. we just experienced some technical difficulties, but you see, we worked it out, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think it keeps on jumping off. I'm not sure. Maybe it's something with my internet connection, but I'm just gonna allow this, the universe take over and just guide us to whatever is happening. It's all for the best. So deep breathe in and deep breathe out.
Yeah.
So Amy, please tell us a little bit about yourself. And you have got so much experience in Tantra, and how did you actually start it? How did you find Tantra? I know you haven't been into Tantra all your life, because from our previous conversations, your background is completely different. So I would love for you to share your story with people, and just actually, how did you get into Tantra?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a short version, right? We don't have so much time. So actually, well, today, as you see, I am super. I feel fulfilled. I'm connected to my inner power. I feel very well in my body. I dare to open myself. I dare to be vulnerable, to be sensual. And the most important thing, I really allow myself to have pleasure. And therefore, I really believe that's one of the reasons I really enjoy a high quality, loving relationship. But I also can connect on a deeper level with other people. And I must say that is for me really the foundation of my happy life. It's the way we relate to people and first to ourselves and then to other people. But it hasn't been like that always, oh no, not at all. When I was a child, I was really, I grew up in a challenging family situation.
Mhm.
Actually, I was abused between 8 and 15 years old.
Mm.
So as a teenager, as a young adult, actually what I learned is I consistently escaped my emotions. And every time this abuse happened, I just completely shut down. That was a survival strategy that I developed as a child. And so my heart was actually locked, and therefore I was really sometimes severely depressed, and I was scared to death, I must say. And because I was, of course, I had never talked about it, but when I was 15, something happened and it made me express what happened. Also because I didn't see any other way than telling it. And then the hell broke, because I was not supported emotionally and even not financially anymore. So I felt really completely alone. And my solution then to get over this was, okay, I was super focused on, I need to get a decent diploma. I need to become successful in my job so I can become very independent and take care of myself. And so I studied, and I was very good in school, so that was never a problem. And so I became an architect and I got married. I really accomplished my goals one after the other. I had no problem with that. But in the inner, I was completely shut down. And so when I was 30, I had a successful career, and I was married, but I was actually devastated. I was very bad inside. And so I could never talk about all these things because, in society, sex is such a taboo, and my whole story, I was so ashamed of it. Actually, it was all the only thing I ever learned was to shut down. So I was actually in a problem, and I had a problem. And then I had a psychologist, and so what he said is like, no, when I worked with the psychologist, it was actually a monologue. So I was just telling about it. It felt good to talk about it, but because it was such a monologue, it was not really offering me deep healing. But the psychologist, he said I really needed to get in contact with my body and to start to open again. And he had suggested me to do some massages. Now, and actually that was my big turning point, because on a certain moment I was it was in Belgium, because I'm from Belgium, and as I was an architect, I love like very beautiful spaces, and I was in a kind of a sauna in a very beautiful. So I was completely relaxed there, and I took a massage, just relaxing massage, and this therapist, he was so amazing, and he had given me a massage that completely suddenly something of my harness that I had around me broke open, and I felt this touch was so amazing. It was so I was touched in a full wrapping way. Were fantastic moments, and I felt bliss and connection in all my body. And that was a turning point for me. So afterwards, because I had so much trust in this person, I started to talk, and I said like, what did you do with me? So he said like, yeah, I opened your chakras, and I had never of my life heard of that. And so because I really trusted this person, we talked a little bit more, and then he talked about Tantra. And so I said, Tantra, another thing I never heard of. So, but that was for me the invitation, and I started to look up all things, and I started to study what is Tantra. And so maybe maybe for some of you that don't know, actually Tantra is an ancient practice from India, but now it's like it used to be very strict. You have to have your guru, and then you live with that guru for. But now we have like modern tantra, which is more open, and it involves breathing, sounds, touching, and movements and everything to calm down the mind. And then we're gonna activate sexual energy or vital energy and diffuse it all over the body. And this in order to achieve higher states of profound connection and consciousness. So that's the idea. And to get bliss in your body. And bliss actually in your whole life. Now, more, and of course you also have this kind of philosophy, this kind of, it's a way of living in technicolor instead of black and white. And so the more I was researching it, the more I found, I was really thrilled. I thought, yeah, this is going to be my path to heal myself, to get over it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I studied. I traveled all over the world to find practitioners. I really started to work with more and more with personal development, with persons like Anthony Robbins, and this truly changed my life. And so from architecture, I was more and more interested in going into healing. And so I did a second, I transformed myself, and I became a therapist, first in Ayurvedic massages. Then I also studied psychosexology and Tantra, and actually now I just don't want to do anything else anymore, because it's because of the joy and the happiness that I found from healing myself.
Yeah.
It's such an enormous joy and pleasure in life that's what keeps me alive now. It's like really helping others with doing this, well, having that same fulfillment in life.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I totally resonate with that. You know, it's like your own healing becomes like the light for so many other people that you can share with. And it's like, it's absolutely incredible when you yourself can just, by healing yourself, heal others. It's like, it's something like really mind-blowing for me. So how, like, how your life has changed, like, you know, you've changed the careers, and it's like you're here now in this incredible tantra journey. And it's like, was it always like, since you started researching about tantra, was it always obvious to you? It's like, okay, I want to be a practitioner now, I want to like learn how to help people? Or was it like a gradual
well, it was gradual, because of course when I was myself in the healing stage, at that moment, of course, I didn't think yet of, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be a professional. Of course not. It is very gradual. And I must say, when I started my healing, I was still living in Belgium. Mm-hmm. And then at a certain moment I fell in love, and that's the way I got in Switzerland. And so when I arrived in Switzerland, I arrived in the French part, but I'm living in Belgium, I'm Flemish. Mm-hmm. Now, French is our second language, so I learned it in school, but I was not fluent in French. I just had the basics. But because I never ever practiced it in Belgium, when I arrived in Switzerland, my French was very, very catastrophic. So at that moment, I could not start to work professionally in French. So what I did, and I took 1 year completely off, and then I said, okay, I'm gonna take this time and I'm gonna study. I'm gonna study in French, and that's when I got my certificate for a therapist. So I did it in French.
Wow, like straight in.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the best way, because you're like in full immersion, and then you learn exactly the right vocabulary at the same time in the new language where I'm gonna live.
Yeah.
And then after that, what I did actually first is, because at that moment I'm an architect and a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And so with these two, they hired. I was living in Lausanne in Switzerland, and then in Crans-Montana. Crans-Montana is a ski resort in the mountains, and they hired me there in Crans-Montana to become spa manager of a 5-star hotel. Wow. And the 5-star hotel was in construction. So because for the spa manager, it was like perfect that I was an architect, because the spa was not there yet. Everything was in construction. So I had to manage that, the whole thing, the whole creation of the spa from A to Z. It was a dream for me, because I could use everything of my architecture, and then afterwards I was spa manager. I could set up the whole thing, and I could do also promotion work, and I could manage it, and then I could also work with the people. But of course, in a spa, in a luxury spa, in a holiday resort, yeah, people are not coming for real. For real deep issues. They just come for pleasure, right? For a good treatment and a good massage. So that's not where I could practice already real profound therapy issues. But I was already doing massage. I loved it. And then after 3 years, I had it. I had done the whole thing. I just thought, okay, now it's time to move on. And that's when I went studying psychosexology, and then I started to work really as a therapist on myself, and to work with people individually. And this is where, for me, is the most, well, when I was in the spa, it was fantastic, because then I was creating a beautiful space, but the work with the people was a little bit superficial, whereas now I really go very, very deep, and I really I help to transform people.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine. And can you tell me, how did this impacted your relationship, your own relationship? Because you said that you was married at that time, but
no. At the time, I was no. When I was I was married in Belgium, but yeah, I was divorced before this whole.
Before this journey started.
Yeah, exactly. And then in Belgium, actually, I fell in love with a French guy who lived in Lausanne, and it was really wow, fantastic. I was going to create a new life in Switzerland, and it was a dream. So I moved to Switzerland, and then I was living 1 year in Switzerland, and then I discovered that he had a double life. So yeah, that was a deep. I think that was the deepest point in my life. I saw everything black. Then when I found out, it was oh my God, it was very, very, very bad. And then afterwards, when I moved to Lausanne, I then met my husband. I'm now married again, with someone I met here in Crans-Montana. Mm-hmm. And we are now together for 7 years, so it's going extremely well. I must say, now I'm also teaching people to have a fulfilled intimate life. So it's good that I have one myself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel that you can connect with people on a deeper level when you actually been through experience yourself, and how is that, when you hit the rock bottom, when there is
Absolutely. I think that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
and it is really an art that when you are very deep, it's extremely difficult to see it at that moment, but this is the way how to move through it, is really to to say like, okay, I'm going to step out of myself, and I see from far away, I see myself there, and I'm gonna look like, what am I going through? What am I learning from this?
Yeah.
How am I getting all the resources together to move over this? Because the worst thing that you can have, it's always, you know, that it's never an ever ending story. You cannot stay like that. So
Sure.
it's always good, like, what am I learning from this? Oh my god, this is an opportunity for growth. Because from the worst thing that happens to you, really, it's always, you learn so much from
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
it. And if you look at people's lives, and well, for myself it's also so, but if you see the best things that ever happened to you, it's always related to something bad, where you were in a situation that you said, this I can't take anymore, now it's too much. So then it drives you to make a decision, to say, okay, that otherwise you would not have the courage to take that decision.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, this is so interesting, like the situations that are considered to be bad, like something like sexual abuse. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
drove you to become very like focused on your life, on achieving the goals, and achieving the results and everything. So it's like, in a way, it served you in its own way. Like,
Absolutely, but you have to be prudent, because we cannot going to promote sexual abuse like, yeah, it's good, it's good. No, 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 no. That's absolutely not. But whatever situation you are in, and you feel like you are like the deepest point of your life, then it's good to see it as a generator of courage, and
yeah.
like a motor to push you forward, like, okay, that at one moment you say, okay, I can't take this anymore, stop, and let's move on.
Absolutely. I'm saying that because, like, for myself also, I experienced sexual abuse when I was 15, and second time when I was 25. And like, also, just like yourself, it like made me to shut down, and actually this was the time when I have made this decision. It's like, nobody gonna see me like hurting ever. So I shut down inside, but on the surface I was just like really going for my goals. I was really achieving, and it's like, really, I became like a bulletproof kind of thing, like very,
Yes.
very like harsh exterior, and very like tender inside that needed like love and comfort.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and for sure, like, it served its purpose until it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so there was like some courage for sure was found in the darkest experiences, and it's like actually understanding that you can learn so much, and also that we can learn. We're so, like, me personally, learning from pain, it's like something that I'm used to, but learning from joy is a different experience, right? And
Yes. The thing is, when you are so used to be in an environment where everything is painful and it's really weird, then for me, I don't know for you, but for me it's like that when I started to be in an environment where people are all cheered up and it's all joy, and then it's so weird, because you are like on another planet,
yeah,
and you're not and you're not used to it. It's so strange, and I'm very happy that I am now. It's a I completely changed my mindsets.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And definitely like a tantra helps, like it helped me definitely to connect with myself and allowed me to actually be able to allow me to experience joy and experience love and actually accept it. It's like one of the spiritual practices, like actually let me understand, oh, men actually don't want to hurt me. They want to give me pleasure, they want to serve me pleasure, you know. And it has been like a huge revelation for me. Yeah.
Yes, it is, but it is like, I think that the way, like the most important people that we have around us when we are a child, and
Mm,
how they interact with us, then later in life you think that everybody is like that.
yeah, that's right, that's right. And actually subconsciously looking for the similar experiences.
Of course, and that's it, and it's, I think also it's life senses the same things, and
Mm,
if we don't learn our lesson, then life is going to send it back to us even worse,
mm.
till the moment that we understand and that we learn.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's like pushing you, and
yeah,
allowing you to take a stand for yourself. How far are you gonna go? How much are you prepared to take of this? You know?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So, Amy, what like what kind of things people come to you the most? Like what people come to you
Yeah,
for?
okay. So what people come for to me is, so I work with women, and I work with men, and I work with couples. So when women come to me, it is often women that are like professionally fulfilled, but there's something in their intimate lives that it can be that they are like, for example, they have children and they've been devoted to their work and to their children, but they have forgotten about the sexual woman that they are, and they want to reconnect with that younger self in them, that they want to develop their femininity again. Well, they are a mother and they are a professional wife, but they want to actually to become the sexy wife again.
Yeah.
Then I have women also that have been that have that have experienced trauma,
Mm.
and so I help these women. Man, it's what can I say? More. It's not the younger man. It's really the older man. Well, older man. I mean, sorry, it's not a beautiful word to say. Older man. I mean, major, mature man. I would say 45 and plus,
Mm-hmm.
45 till 65,
Yeah.
or even 75. And men that I have some men that are how can I say, they are they have so much respect for women that
Mm-hmm.
they actually have lost a little bit that aggressive masculinity, that aggressive masculinity. But it's difficult to explain aggressive masculinity. I don't want to say it's because then it looks bad, but they are a little bit too nice.
Mm.
You understand
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's
Too
like,
nice, and then it's not sexy anymore.
yeah, it's like that animal, like
Exactly. But we as women, we will in the bedroom. Well, for me, I speak for myself, but I like to have a man, a real man. I don't want a man that is going to abuse me, but I want a man that is a man.
yeah, who can handle you right. who can just take you and throw you on bed and then the most
Yes. Yes. So yeah. So I have men that are in this situation, men that have, you know, Gina, it's also, I believe that everybody, it's completely normal to sometimes be stuck in our sexuality.
Yeah.
The problem, for me, the problem is that, like, most people, we grow up like, and thinking that sexuality, everything has to be, oh, it's a natural thing. So if it's natural, you don't need education. So what do we get in school? Education. It's
Zero.
catastrophe. It's a real catastrophe. What do we learn in school? We learn how sex can make you sick.
Yeah.
We learn, so do not have sex because you might get pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And or you might get sick, so don't do it. But we don't learn anything about pleasure and respect for each other, and what people, the sex educator is porn on the internet. It's a terrible thing because it's so fake, and then young guys, they think that it's real, and then they will approach young girls like they are porn actors, and then the young girls, they think they are the princess on the horse that come around. This is so insane. It's completely insane. So with this background that we all have, how do you think that anybody can have a healthy, pleasurable sexual life? Of course. So for me, the conclusion is that it's completely normal to be stuck in your sexual life in this society. So it's more normal than it's not normal. And I think it's very, I would encourage everybody to go to get professional help in order to find, well, to have better sex. Yeah. I think it's completely normal, and it should be part actually of normal education, but it isn't. So that's actually why people like you and me are here for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what I have. And so men, to continue the story, so men, I have like a lot of men also that have problems with erectile function, and then they think it's psychologically difficult, because then they have performance anxiety, and they think, oh my God, my intimate life is finished, and you know how much, like, if the thing doesn't work anymore, oh my God, it's really a catastrophe for these people. And these are then younger men with premature ejaculation. This is also very, very common.
Yeah, and it affects the confidence. It affects
absolutely
relationship. It affects really each aspect of life. Yeah,
absolutely, truly. Because if you are good in your intimate life and in your relationship, and relationships, not only the intimate relationship, but also other if this is a domain in your life that you manage, oh my God, it gives you all the juice and all the, it's the engine, and it's just going to influence every other aspect of your life.
Yeah, it's like a nourishment, like
oh yes, absolutely.
Like the water for the plant, you have to water it for it to blossom.
Yes, exactly. But that's exactly it. If you can nourish yourself, like in this in this way, every single day, and also a lot of people, they think, oh my God, I need to have a partner in order to be fulfilled. No, that is the worst.
Oh my God.
Thing. That's the worst thing to think, because the first one you have to be intimate with and in love with is yourself.
Yeah.
And because like what a lot of people think, like you know the two circles, and this is and then this is a hole, and they have a hole, and the other person is going to fill my hole, and I'm going to fill the hole of the other person. This is like the worst thing ever you can think, because then you become so dependent of that other person. It's a nightmare, actually.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so glad you brought this up, because it's like lots of women that I actually work with, you know, they like we go and like, mind you, I've been one of those women myself, you know, that going into relationship waiting when he gonna save me, waiting when he gonna just like come and just fix everything in my life.
Yeah, me too. Shinya, you know, I think we all have this, you know. We all grew up with this idea, oh, my prince is gonna come on the horse. And it's the story that all the girls have.
Yeah, and actually, a lot of it, like we learn from animation, from the movies. You know, it's like
the Hollywood movies.
yeah.
Oh, and then the Hollywood movies, and this is how we grew up, and this is what we love to look at, and so this is what is stored in our brains.
Yeah, yeah, looking for the one. Like whoever that one, this one becomes 10 at some point, or it's like for some women it doesn't become anyone at all.
Because then you have also these Amazon women that are, oh yeah, they are like the cool, and oh, no, they don't need anyone, right? Is that's what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Because what I'm dealing with, it's like lots of fear, you know. It's like, well, I'm not safe being with a man, because it's like, if I gonna put all of my love and my trust and everything into this one person, and what if they like disappear? What if like something happens to them? What if, you know, like when you put so much expectations on one person and something happens to them, all of your dreams and
it's the fear. Yeah, and then it's the fear of intimacy, and then they're like scared to death to go in a relationship because they might disappear.
Yeah, but also it's like, you know, when you are in a relationship, it's just like a little bit, you know, taking a step but not allowing yourself to fully express what you really want. So it's like it can get so interesting, so interesting. So Amy, I know that we are coming here towards the end of our show, and I know that you've been working on some very juicy test for people. Would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to explain a little bit what kind of I have developed a 5-dimensional sensual secret system. It's a system what I take my clients through in order to move them forward to a fulfilled intimate life. I'm going to explain a little bit how the structure is. Amazing. And then and then I created a test that I will, first I'll tell you the system. Is that okay?
Yeah, please do. It's like exceptional work, so of course.
Okay, so so as I explained, it's a 5-dimensional sensual secret system, and it's actually a whole process that I take people through, and of course we work there where the need is the most. But this is what I created, and I say like we have to have this in order to really create a fulfilled intimate life. So with emotional intimacy and sexual health, pleasure and joy. So the first dimension is connection with self, and it is like obvious that you have to love yourself first before you can really love someone else. But it's the same, like if you want deep, profound connection with another person, oh my God, you first need to know yourself and to accept also your shadows, because nobody is perfect. Nobody. And it is, when we are young, we are so, or even some older people have it still. They never grow, they never become mature. But for me, part of maturity is really accepting our shadows and saying, okay, and then you can also make fun of yourself, you know. And also is to, what I help people with is to identify their intimacy blockage. Because it can be in very weird spaces. And I work with the body as well, because the mind is very tricky. The mind can tell us all kind of stories, and you even believe it, and the ego sometimes plays in. So that's why I love to work directly with the body, because the body is never lying. The body is real. So I'm gonna discover with my person, I'm gonna discover where are the intimacy blockages, and then heal them really. And these can be like physical, can be emotional, can be energetical. So I work on. Then the second dimension is sexual chemistry. It is understanding everything about polarity, because the sexual attraction, and the sexual attraction in a couple, for example, of course, you have to feel attractive yourself, because if you do not feel as yourself, you do not feel sexy, I can assure you, you're not going to radiate sexiness.
That's true.
Oh, yes, of course. So that is this, and then this understanding, where does it come from? Where is your sexiness coming from? And everything about polarity, it's with masculine and feminine energies. And becoming conscious about these is when you start learning about this and becoming conscious, it becomes like at the fingertip you can change. Then my third dimension is emotional intimacy. So it's all about knowing how to create. So when we go into this dimension, you already are completely connected to yourself, right? It's really in order. So when you are profoundly connected to yourself and you really understand your needs, you're gonna really be able to recognize needs in the other person that is in front of you, and how this other person puts their needs in a hierarchy. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm not English. Yeah, in which order, you know. And when you can recognize this, you can feed the other person, but not feeding in the way that you think. Because when we are not conscious about these things, what do? We give to others what we think that we would love for ourselves. But nobody is the same. So I really teach my students to learn to recognize, to really see the need of the other one. And I can assure you, Regina, a lot of people have so much abandonment, anxiousness. But when you learn this and when you see this, you are able to feed the needs of the other person. And when you feed 3 needs of another person constantly, they will never leave you. Never, ever, 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 ever. And it's so powerful to know all this stuff. And it's once you learn it and you become conscious of it and you see it, it is amazing. You see miracles happen. Yeah. And this is just on emotional work, and this is work that you can use in all relationships. This is not only your intimate partner. It's so rich. Well, it's so and enriching your life. Well, for me it was, and it's for everyone that I see that I learned too. Okay, so then we move on to dimension number 4, and this is the sexiness. This is all about sexual pleasure and joy and fulfillment, and here as well, there's so much to learn, and this is all things that we have never ever learned when we were kids. It's about recognizing your erotic identity. Who are you as an erotic being? What makes you hot? What is what are you aroused by? And and this is something I learned from Jaya, there are like we have blood types, we have erotic identities, and there are 5, and there are like completely different erotic identities. And me, for example, I am energetical sensual, and which means that tantra for me is like something fantastic when I work with the energies and the higher consciousness and all this thing. And like when I am in my tantra being, and with my husband, for example, my husband is not at all into tantra, and he loves with all this stuff. And I thought in the beginning of our relationship, I thought that, wow, I am much, I'm like the goddess, I know everything about sex and thing. And I felt a little bit better than I thought. I am much more developed than him and thing. And that was my
that was your thinking then.
That was my the way of thinking. But later I learned that actually, so my husband is more sexual and sometimes kinky, and so he is wired in a complete different way than I am. But it's always like different people attract each other, and so I learned to see that it's not because I am like in my spiritual thinking and everything that I am better. No, it's just completely different. But it's so interesting when you learn all these things and you start to recognize like what you really need to be fed in your arousal and in your sexuality, but then also to see what the other needs. And it's like another language, and it's like learning to speak that other language, but also learning to speak your needs in a language that the other one understands. And then it becomes so much fun. And then you can, oh my God, there's no limits.
Yeah. And it's so important to like actually being able to express your needs, because very often we know that what's happening right now, it's not what I want. But how do I say that? How do I say what I want? How do I actually communicate that to my partner?
That's how to talk. And it's learning the language of the other person in order to communicate your needs. But it's already becoming conscious of your needs, because it's for me, for example, like when I was younger, I was so ashamed and so, oh my God, I cannot even think of it anymore, how I was then, like so closed and so ashamed. And I remember, like I cannot imagine it anymore, but I remember very, very well how it is living in this in this field of like, and also, I know that a lot of women do this, but I was one of them myself. Like when I had sex, I would fake an orgasm just to because I wanted, men, they feel so good when they make an
orgasm.
They will always be proud of it. I'm a good lover. For them, it's so important to be a good lover.
Yeah.
Well, in our society now, it's like it's in to be a good lover, and so you want to make your man happy, and so it's so normal, and it's so normal that if you don't know all the other stuff, that you just start fake orgasms.
Yeah, exactly. I did that myself. It's like
I think every single woman I talked to, every single woman told the same thing. They fake orgasms. Everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like when you don't have to fake anymore, how your life changes, and it's like where you can take it outside the bedroom, because it's like if you fake in the bedroom, it's more likely you're faking in other areas of life.
Oh, of course, yeah. how you do something is how you do everything, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's incredible. So what is the fifth? Was it the fifth
Oh
dimension?
yeah, the fifth
Yeah,
dimension.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yes, of course. So the fifth dimension is spiritual partnership. Is really going a step further. Is like is it's in the phase of contribution. Like, what are you here to do together with your partner, and to find it to bring it on a higher level. You know, creating alignment of both your missions together, and and yeah, you're gonna start to engage as equals for the purpose of spiritual development. And yeah, it's a very strong loving connection with your partner, but where you want to be an example for other people, and you want together to bring something to contribute to the world.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing. Sounds absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so that is for me like the whole picture of like a really truly fulfilling intimate life,
Yeah.
where you both grow. So I repeat. So one was the connection with yourself, and then healing all the wounds, and so going to a real profound place of self-love and confidence, and you're great on yourself. 2 is the sexual attraction. 3 is the emotional intimacy. 4 is the sexual joy and pleasure and fulfillment. And then 5 is the spiritual partnership. And these 5 dimensions bring you to a really truly fulfilled intimate life.
Amazing.
And not only intimate life, it's like your whole life.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So Amy, how people can connect with you and find out more of like how they can work with you, how they can find out more about this 5-step program, 5-dimensional program?
Well, I have a free test, and this is the test. The test is for to test your love, your sex and pleasure ability.
Yep.
And this text, how will they say? So they put, if they find me on Facebook,
Yep.
you will put my name there. They find me and they just send me a private message. They become friend, and then I will become friends with them, and then they send me like a private message. Hey, I would love your test, and I will send them the test.
Amazing, amazing.
That's good.
Yeah, that sounds great. So yeah,
so what they get out of that test is that they will learn like where is this, what is for them now the place to really go for, to focus on.
That would be very valuable. So what they need to focus on in their sex life.
Yes, exactly. Well, in their sex life, or it can be that they have to focus now on healing, or it all depends where they are in life, and that's gonna, the test is just made for that, to make them but because maybe it's more important now to heal something than to go into pleasure techniques, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely, because we all want the end result, like this unconditional love and lots of pleasure, but it's like, honey, you know what, you have this wound here.
Yes, and of course it's not because you have to heal that you cannot have pleasure. Of course not, because pleasure is always good, always good.
Yeah.
But it's just I mean, where do you put your focus, your first focus? And you know very well that if you have to heal something, you also have to pay attention to that, and it's maybe more important than to do this than to go on a holiday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is it. It's like to actually create this space where you can hold more.
Exactly, and that's going to fulfill you much more now if that is what you have to focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, message Amy and ask for the test. Absolutely ask for the test. Right. So, Amy, I think we came to our final moments. And would you have like one thing you would like to leave our viewers with before we complete today's session?
Yes, what I would say is, with all my experience, wherever you are today, wherever, and it can be so black, but there is a way out, and just let you be helped. Find some help, wherever you are. If you are just in a place where everything is okay, but you think there's much more, then also. But if there's one thing I would say, is find someone to grab your hand, because it's so easy and it's so nice, and we are human beings. We are not here to be alone. Please let that ego of you go and find someone to grow with. That's if I would have known this is the one thing that I would love to have known when I was 15. That would completely have accelerated my happy life.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, you don't have to be alone. You don't have to be by yourself. It's just open your heart, just hold hands, and
go look for help. Don't sit there, open your heart, Mamma Mia, my Mamma Mia, like, no, you have to make the first step yourself. But we make it very, very easy. Like, just make me friends and send me your email, and that's a very easy first step.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, technology is so vast, so you can connect with so many people and connect with right people. That's my advice. Connect.
Yes, not your best friend, because your best friend is not how can I say? Your best friend is probably, it can be that it is, but probably is not a professional in this area, and then so that is also, you have to know who to go to.
Yeah, definitely. Friends tend to take sides. So, yeah.
Friends have the best intentions. Let's not question that. They may have the best intentions, but they don't have the knowledge and they don't have the experience. And yeah.
Unless those best friends are us, of course.
Of course, that's true.
Right. So, guys, please connect with Amy. Ask her for the test. Just really find out what would serve you absolute best right now. Inquire how you can work with her. She is absolutely incredible, a superstar of the sexuality space, with so much knowledge, with so much passion. So please connect with her. Give us a like. Give us share what you see, and really love yourselves. This is what I would love you to live with. Just love yourselves. And like, no matter what happens, just know that there is always tomorrow, and sun is gonna come out and shine, and you can dance and celebrate, like in any weather. Like today it was so stormy. And I just said, I'm my own sunshine. This is how it is. If I can't rely on the weather, I can rely on me. And this is the bottom line.
That's a wonderful mindset. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Has to be done, And on this note, I wish you lots of love. It has been pleasure conversations. My name is Eugenia Oliberti, and our amazing host, Amy De Baene. So thank you, and bye for now.
Thank you, Gina. Bye-bye.
Bye.